Hey everybody, thanks. Thank you. I haven't seen you present before, but that's an awesome job and great vibe. You created great energy here and hadn't been to a TechTO event before, but definitely will be continuing, so very cool. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Amazon Web Services and TriNimbus, a business I co-founded just around 5 years ago. We worked with Amazon very early on in Canada, before AWS were in Canada. And we sort of started this thing very early. And co-founder and myself, Goran Kimovsky, we basically just pounded the streets, got a lot of AWS business with a lot of startups. We really worked with a lot of startups building technology on AWS before a lot of the services were around, but enough services to make a difference. And all those building blocks of AWS have been amazing, watching the innovation and watching it grow, and as we've grown as a business. I mean, ultimately, our vision is really helping all the people in the room, all the people that are building technology and having an impact with technology and really yielding technology, because if you don't do that as a business today, you will die. Like in the story, you have to use technology, and if you don't do it, you're not going to last very long. So we want to help those businesses have an impact building and using technology with Amazon Web Services. And we've been around the block in terms of our experience and expertise. We're the only Premier-based partner, which is a top-tier partner in Canada. And we have around 70 people now and growing very, very fast across the country, and also doing work with companies in the US as well. Just a couple of things that we do. Everything from big data platforms to a lot of work with CI/CD and DevOps. The security questions coming up more and more. We have a DevSecOps service as well, where we work with our customers on a whole, not just the DevOps piece, but all the security and automation around that as well. And a model really where we work. A lot of companies are scared of consultants. They don't want to have consultants because they feel consultants are going to come in, do the work, put the stuff in the drawer, and leave and not share any of the information. We have a co-sourcing model where we engage with customers at a different level, where we form virtual teams with them. And through those teams, everybody's doing the work. They're doing the work, we're doing the work, and there's a lot of learning that goes on. And one of the key things is also the themes tonight has been learning. And in our business, that is our key culture. We call it mastery. Mastering the AWS and the ecosystem of tools around it. And its core to our being is mastery. One of the other pieces also around learning is we run the user groups and start the user groups throughout Canada for AWS. There's one in Toronto, Waterloo, Montreal, Ottawa, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and in Victoria. I can't remember all of those. We really encourage you, if you have a story around AWS, to come and present at the user group. We want to share as much experience as we possibly can with the community and build the community. So this is something we've been doing for 4 years now, and really encourage you to join the user group and come and tell us your story around AWS. These are some of our customers. I got some advice today to sort of segment this out, so I'm going to just quickly let you look at that. But thanks to David at Point Click Care, I'll talk about some of these and use cases as well around some of the things that we've done with some of these customers. Point Click Care, I think we heard a little bit already, and thank you for the plug, David. We've been working with PCC for a long time, and helping them really scale out on the platform. And of course, lots of challenges, but we love challenges because challenges make you learn, right? And so we love learning, and it's been, I'm not going to talk too much about the technology, David did that, but it's been a great project, and it continues to be a great project. Another one is Shutterstock down in New York City. They just acquired a company actually in Toronto. So we work with them building a Kubernetes cluster on AWS, which is exciting. New frontiers, working with containers, working with Kubernetes on AWS. They're migrating over 100 applications onto this cluster. So very exciting work as well. We working on moving or have moved a massive Hadoop cluster, 2 petabytes to AWS for them. Interesting story, the CIO called me. We had been doing a little bit of work with them, and he called me and said, Jarrod, we got to get out of our data centers, and I can't tell you the reason why, but we got to get out immediately, and all of a sudden, our team working with Shutterstock went from 2 to 8 people, and we started really pushing hard on migrating them to AWS. YVR, so this one's an interesting one. I bet you've all touched it. Anyone who enters the US through any of the 30 international airports around North America, if you scan your passport and it takes a picture of you, that whole back-end system lives on AWS, and we migrated it from YVR's data center, who built the technology, super innovative organization, built the technology for this kiosk, and now it lives inside AWS, and we really had to work with Homeland Security and still do. You don't want to get those guys on the phone. If something goes wrong, it's like 20 people. And so a lot of security energy goes into that, and we manage that 24/7 as well on the back end. So exciting, and so next time you go through one of those machines, you can think about AWS. Another exciting one, we're working with Herschel Supply. They got, a lot of people over 30 don't know who Herschel are, but anyone under 30 probably does and has a bag or something of theirs. We've helped them launch their e-commerce platform on AWS using partners like Elastic Path, e-commerce, and as well Adobe Experience Manager. And they are loving the platform, especially the international footprint, because they've expanded into Europe. And now they're about to go live on their North American site. So exciting, and taking advantage of a lot of different services around AWS, and really we're their whole back end, because they're not an IT company, so they are or a development company. So we've helped them build a whole DevOps and DevSecOps environment to keep them up and to make sure they're continuously improving. And last one, School Messenger. So this is a messenger service that helps communicate to kids in schools or to parents for kids. And so we've helped them, and still transitioning from a sort of traditional code base and traditional way of development into AWS, and helping them sort of get to sort of the DevOps methodologies of how they write and release their code, including the whole CI/CD pipeline. And that's it. Yes, time's up. So any questions? No questions? Congratulations to Mark. That's a great story. So yeah, really inspiring.
Thank you. There's a question.
Thanks very much. Why do so many people continue to choose AWS over the other large cloud providers? Like, why do you focus on that?
Well, we're biased, so the bias answer is, and David sort of said it, it's just more mature. It's been around for longer, and not just the technology, the whole ecosystem around AWS. Partners like us don't really exist in the other platforms as advanced as us with as much experience. When you look at AWS, the whole architecture around how they have regions and they deploy regions, there's no equal to that as well in our opinion. When you try automate things inside other platforms, it's so much more difficult than it is within AWS, and it just works when you turn it on, versus some things where you have to go and ask, and you have a lot of challenges with the other platforms, at least that we've heard, that where with AWS it works. So there's a couple for you. Yeah. And as well, there's a lot of people that are thinking about Microsoft and Windows and automatically default to, well, we'll go to the other platform because that's just the standard. AWS have been running Microsoft for longer than Microsoft have, right? And so if you think about that and all the things and tools that go around it, you really have to take a hard look at AWS when it comes to those platforms, because they really know, they really have been hardened and understand how to run them. Anybody else? No? No more questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.